I walked into Bridalwood Bank that morning just like I had for years. Same routine, same check, same quiet hope that things would go smoothly. But that day slapped me across the face with just how little some folks think of you when you don't look like money. It was the first Wednesday of the month. My VA disability check had come in like clockwork, and I needed to get it deposited. Rent was due the next day, and I didn't have time for games. Carol, the usual teller who knew me, wasn't there. Instead, this young kid named Tyler stood behind the counter, with that twitchy, overconfident look, like he just got promoted to assistant to the assistant manager. I gave him the check and my deposit slip. "Good morning. Just a deposit today," I said, like always. He didn't say much, just squinted at the check, held it to the light like he was trying to read hidden codes, then flipped it over and started typing. I waited, figured he was new, but then he looked up, didn't meet my eyes, and said, "Mr. Harlan, this check seems a little irregular." That got my attention. Irregular? It's a government check. I've been depositing the same one every month for years. He gave a tight little shrug. "Well, with your current balance being low, the bank's policy is to hold anything that might bounce. 7 to 10 business days, maybe longer." I was stunned. I got rent due tomorrow. That check's from the Department of Veterans Affairs. Ain't never bounced in its life. He just pushed it back toward me with the tip of his pen. "I suggest you call the VA. Maybe they can wire it." That was it. No, sorry, no help, no second glance. I looked up at the manager, Mr. Rowe, sitting in his glass office pretending not to see me. I'd been with that bank for over 2 decades, and not one person stepped in. So I walked out, sat on a bench nearby, and stared at the check in my hand like it was worthless paper. My chest was tight. Rent, power bill, my meds, all writing on that one piece of paper, and one clueless teller just tossed it aside like junk mail. I didn't know what to do. VA hotlines take forever, and I wasn't about to beg. Then I remembered something. An old card buried deep in my wallet. A government lady handed it to me years ago during a benefits mess. Veterans Financial Protection Task Force. I'd never used it. Figured it was just one more forgotten agency. But I called. One ring, and a woman picked up. "Agent Monroe, VFPTF. How can I help?" I told her everything. Who I was, what happened, what Tyler said. She didn't say much, just asked for the bank's address and the manager's name. Then she said, "A field agent is on the way. Please stay close." 5 minutes later, no joke, a black sedan with government plates pulled up. A man in a gray suit stepped out, quiet, focused. He walked straight into that bank like he owned the floor. From the bench, I saw him head right into Rowe's office without even knocking. Flashed a badge. "Agent Russell, we need to talk about your handling of federal instruments and your personal accounts." Mr. Rowe's face went pale. Then it got whiter when his office phone rang. I saw him answer, pause, then stammer, "My accounts? Frozen? Effective now?" Yeah, that happened. Outside, Agent Monroe came up to me. She asked for the check, looked it over for about 3 seconds, and said, "Perfectly valid." Then she called someone and said calmly, "Release funds immediately. Freeze branch manager Rowe's accounts pending compliance audit." I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. Inside, the young teller Tyler was getting a full debrief. Turns out, he had no clue what the actual policy was, He just went with what Mr. Rowe told him. "Watch out for folks with low balances," he admitted. "Ignorance, weaponized." Agent Monroe walked me back into the bank like I was someone important. People stared. No more dismissive glances, no more attitude. She made sure my check was deposited on the spot, and the funds were available immediately. Then she turned to Mr. Rowe, still looking like he'd been hit by a freight train, and said, "Mr. Harlan will receive a written apology and a waiver for any late fees caused by your refusal to process his check. Understood?" He nodded without a word. Before they left, Agent Russell handed Rowe a thick folder. "This outlines your upcoming federal audit and retraining schedule. I suggest you take it seriously." I walked out of Bridlewood Bank with my dignity, my rent money, and something I hadn't felt in a while: justice. Real, actual, fast-moving justice. I paid my bills that same day. Never saw Tyler again. Rowe got bumped into some compliance role with zero public contact. And the bank? They rewrote every policy they had about government checks and veteran accounts. I kept that VFPTF card in my wallet ever since. Look, I'm not a man who asks for special treatment. But if I've served this country, followed the rules, and done right by people, the very least I should expect is to be treated like I matter. And that day, finally, someone treated me like I did. Now, I want to know what you think. Was freezing that manager's account the right move, or was it too much? Ever seen someone get brushed aside just because they didn't look safe or wealthy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe veterans shouldn't have to fight for the benefits they earned, hit that subscribe button. Some stories deserve to be heard. I walked into Bridlewood Bank that morning just like I had for years. Same routine, same check, same quiet hope that things would go smoothly. But that day, that day slapped me across the face with just how little some folks think of you when you don't look like money. It was the first Wednesday of the month. My VA disability check had come in like clockwork, and I needed to get it deposited. Rent was due the next day, and I didn't have time for games. Carol, the usual teller who knew me,